TGR News, broadcasting from the State of Israel.
Welcome back to TGR News.
Welcome, welcome.
Well, there's no real big surprises this past week in the news, but there sure is a lot to talk about, all the politics and everything else.
Oh, I know. Politics is terrible here, like in America.
This week, though, the streets have been full of protesters protesting against basically Bennett's decision to go left wing, right?
I don't blame them. I mean, the country, the bulk of the country voted for the right wing.
Absolutely.
And, you know, and it's like, to me, he's like a traitor. He's turned his back on the people that voted for him.
Absolutely.
Just because he wanted power.
Absolutely.
And I agree with Mike Evans. I'm glad Mike Evans spoke up when he did.
Yeah, but also don't forget, like you said, most of the country, 65% of the country, that's way more than 50%, voted right wing, and only 5% voted for Bennett. Now he's going to be the prime minister.
It doesn't make sense. It has to be spiritual.
95% of the country does not want Bennett to be the prime minister, but somehow in a democracy, he's still the prime minister. It makes no sense. Anyway, Bibi called a meeting to the Likud leaders this week, and he basically said he would immediately step down if they could find any appropriate candidate that as a group collectively they decided would give them the chance of still holding on to the prime minister's office now or in the future. Yes,
that sounds like a wise choice.
Yes,
I think he should have made that a little bit sooner, and we wouldn't be having this problem with the
I don't think there is anyone.
I know.
In
I'm
the
not
Likud,
sure who
I'm
it
thinking
is.
about the Likud, and
yeah,
I don't know
it's
who
hard.
it would be.
It's
I don't know
hard
who it
to
would
say.
Be. Yeah, so, but the leaders of the Jewish religious parties, you know, like Shas and Yadut Torah and all the religious, the ones that are
Haredim,
the politicians that are, you know, black and white,
like
with
the Haredim.
They are running scared because they know that
their life is over with Bennett, so to speak.
Bennett has done a lot of things, you know, to a lot of agreements with Lapid and everyone else that's just backstabbing to the Jewish parties and to the fact of keeping Israel as a Jewish state.
I know. This is the thing.
Yeah, it's really bad. Yeah.
And taking in the Arabs.
Well, I'll tell you something else that's happened also pretty interesting is if you remember in this past war, it started off with 7 missiles being fired from Hamas to Jerusalem. The reason that is because it was during the time of Jerusalem Day when they were doing the March of the Flag through Jerusalem. So that was Hamas saying they don't want to allow us, like they have any say-so, and having a march of our flag in our state, in our capital.
Yes, and it has to do with Jerusalem Day, when we got control of Jerusalem again.
And so now, because it was ruined because of those 7 missiles, there's people are trying to organize another one. And Hamas has immediately said, with a big threat, if you do it, they're going to send the missiles again, and it's going to go off again. I think it's ridiculous that we even entertain a thought that a foreign government, because it is under their government, Hamas is their government, tell us we can't have a parade or a march that shows our patriotism to our flag. What country would listen to that?
And the capital
in our capital.
I know, and it's Hamas is a terrorist organization. It's just unreal, and I'm afraid with Bennett and Lapid, they'll just crumble.
Yep.
You know,
very
like Biden has crumbled.
Yep.
You know.
You know, the Ben Gvir, one of our really right-wing politicians, he wanted to go up on the Temple Mount just because he can, because it is Israel, right?
Yes.
And a lot of the left-wing parties obviously were against it and told them, no, you're going to start a war. What do you mean start a war? It's our country. If we're not allowed to go there, then, you know.
Yeah, we're supposed to be free to go where we want.
Absolutely.
And what people don't realize is Israel doesn't stop the Palestinians from going to places.
No, absolutely.
You know, and they protect their holy sites.
Absolutely.
But yet, on the other hand, everybody thinks it's wrong for Israel to want to be involved with their holy sites.
Yep, absolutely.
And the Temple Mount is the holy site.
Well, it's a very simple situation to figure out. Israeli Arabs, you see them all over the place in Jerusalem, in Herzliya,
in the malls, in the grocery stores,
everywhere, and it's fine. No one does anything to them. They're welcome. Come and join. Do whatever you want to do peacefully. Try to go to Ramallah as a Jewish person,
or even Bethlehem.
Or Bethlehem. you won't probably get out of there alive.
No, and it's the Israeli army sort of said no Israelis are allowed into those areas because it is too dangerous. And this is our country.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, good to see you getting excited.
I get excited when I see people going against Israel. Of course, they're going to suffer in the long run.
Yeah, well, Bennett's Deal, one of his first deals he made when he has to sign in to become prime minister, was basically give away the Negev. He just gave the Arab parties just a blank check to build whatever they want, how they want the Arab villages in the Negev. Now, our Negev is already under attack from the Bedouins and the Jewish people in the capital of the Negev, which is Beersheba. That's what we call it, the capital of the Negev. It's not the capital, but it's just the biggest city down there.
Yeah, it's just a name.
Yeah,
nickname.
And it's a non-stop fight and problems they're having with the Bedouins coming in and shooting and stealing and all kinds of things.
Yes, it used to be a little bit, but now it's gotten worse, and it's going to even get worse because of this new stuff.
Now that Bennett's giving away the Negev, it's just going to be uncontrollable.
I know, it's terrible. Really it's terrible. When God brought the Jews back, He said it wouldn't be taken from them. But no one ever realized that the Jews would be stupid enough to give up the land God gave them.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is. But talking about the Arabs thing, from the north and the south this week, the Arabs criminal element now, and I don't think this is terrorist stuff. This is more criminal. They have been really ramping up this past week. They've had in the north and in the south where they just open up with stealing like in America.
Yeah.
Stealing from McDonald's and from a convenience store, but they come out with automatic assault rifles and they just open fire on the police and everything else. It's insane. It's like the Wild West.
Yeah, it is. Well, you know what it is? They're watching America and they see how things are falling apart in America and they go, oh, you know what? We got a left-wing government now. Let's try our hand at it and see if it works.
Yeah. Well, it's really ramping up really bad, and right after this, the Arabs' attempt to raise a civil war during this past war we had here with Hamas. On top of that, and this, and all together, there's just been a big wedge that's been dug in between the Jews and the Arabs here, and I don't know if it'll ever be repaired. I think it's irreparable. I really do. It's just getting too bad.
Yeah, it's getting worse.
Because up until then, the Israelis and the Arabs, the Jews and the Arabs, like in Akko, in Haifa, there's quite a few places in Lod, in Jaffa, in a lot of places where they've been pretty much 50-50.
Even here in the Jerusalem area where Arabs and Jews are together in the
Arabs
neighborhood.
And Israelis are together, and it's been really...
It was okay.
It was okay.
Not perfect, but okay.
It was livable. It was doable, but now it's not so much.
No.
Well, this Sunday is the swearing in of the new left-wing party where Bennett is the prime minister. And they try to make a big deal about it on the news about how Bibi might not step down respectfully and do everything he has to do to give him all the information.
Yeah, I've been reading that too.
It's ridiculous. Bibi didn't even really pay attention. Didn't give it too much time a day but he did make one statement, and Bibi said this. He says his priorities are like this. Always has been and always will be. Number one, and first in his priorities is the country,
which it should be.
Number two is the party.
Yes.
The Likud.
Right.
And number three is himself.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Which I liked it. I think that was a good way.
Yeah, the prime minister should not be first. It should be the country. What's best for the country.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got anything you want to say?
No, I'm afraid I'd be too negative. Because I'm so upset over this government situation,
Yeah, we all are upset.
And we just have to pray hard. I think Israel's going in for a hard time now because,
absolutely.
God judged the countries according to their government,
Yeah.
And so we just have to pray and pray and pray, that God will step in and show us the right directions to go and how to go about it.
Amen. This Sunday, up until the swearing, anything could happen still.
Anything
Could happen still. Well, this Sunday I won't be able to see on the news. I'll be busy. I got I got a military thing I got to do.
Yes.
I got a training. There's a new training base that we're checking out, and also we're doing our every once in a while we have our drug tests and polygraph tests
and
for
that yearly stuff that they make y'all do.
Yeah, they make me do. So this Sunday I won't be able to see. I'll know later than.
Yeah,
because I'll be pretty busy.
You'll have to record it and check it later.
Yeah, so we can only pray that something happens.
Well, one thing we want to do is to be sure that everybody watches the next week's video, because it really has a Zionistic
this Monday
swing to it.
This coming Monday has a video. You'll see. My daddy. Jerry Golden, hard to call him by the name.
I know, we call him Daddy. It's Daddy, not Jerry.
Daddy put out an article about it, so some of you might have already read it, which, by the way, if you haven't, go to thegoldenreport.com and you can read his article and join us on thegoldenreport.com.
Yeah, it shows you how to support us. It shows you what we think, how we feel about things.
Absolutely.
So it's very important that we hear from y'all. Know what you're thinking, and especially your prayers for not just us, but all the ministries here in Israel, and for Israel itself in this government situation.
Absolutely.
But the thing of it is, it's heartwarming, because you can see we still have the Zionistic pioneer spirit in people.
You're talking now about the Monday
and the video, yes.
The video. Yeah,
and
this
so,
video, it's a good one. Yeah,
that's
it's a good one. You're gonna want to watch it. It gives you yeah, absolutely. It's a good video. So hope to see you there in that video, and until next time.
Shabbat Shalom.
Bye bye.